What's going on, everybody? Lambo here, and this is number 4, I think, of this series of videos showing you some stuff. In this one, we're going to cover the 110 or the L10 commands, and it's basically text that shows you on screen. And in the previous videos, I just had you kind of ignore it and use the default stuff. We're going to go through and show you how to create your own titles. And if you look at my mod disk here, inside of my mod disk, I have added the lines 110 text, and this is going to be our call to action. When the game reaches for this, it's going to say this, seek others, and I've went through and I've added German and converted the names over and everything. But we have empty for configuration. This is the Starfire that we installed, and the beacon. This is just going to be the beacon 1. So let's go through and show you where to put these at. So let's start with the title of the seats. So I have this little code right here, and it's actually already installed here under titles and seats. But what I don't have is the 110 tag. So let's copy this over here. We're going to paste it. Oh, not that. We're going to paste it into there, but we're going to need title seats. So we'll copy that. Copy that out, got that replaced. Now when our design material pops up, it should give us the title for seats, which is seat colors. So let's go down to design configurations now. And the first one we have at configuration value design 1, but we just want it to say empty. So we're going to copy that and replace this one right here. And then we're going to do the same thing for design 2 configuration. Instead of doing design value 1, we're just going to put empty. Now we're going to swap out where the Starfire, when it shows or doesn't show, and we're going to put configuration Starfire, making sure we leave in this callback. This is a callback reference to this design right here. So we'll paste that in there. Should say Starfire. Now let's move on to the beacon. And this is going to be configuration 1. You're going to have to do this for every configuration that you make if you want it to show up properly. All right, so configuration beacon, everything's listed here. I'm going to delete this because it was just there for love and support. Let's load it up in game and see what it looks like. Okay, so we're in game. Let's go to our store menu, go down to cars, check this out. And now we should have, darn it, popping in and out here, my bad. Okay, so when we have our design here, you'll notice it'll say empty because there's no Starfire and there's no beacon. But when we change it to the next one, it'll say Starfire and it'll pop that up. And then for this design, it'll say beacon 1. But how do we change this title right here where it says design so we actually know what it is we're playing with? Let's pop back into the XML and take a look at that. Okay, we got our XML open up here. And right here where it says design configurations, we need to put the word title. And I actually already have it copy and pasted in. Oh, there we go, space. But it's not obviously not going to be lighting. We're going to put GPS. GPS. But we don't actually have that text over here. So what we would need to do is create a new little doohickey over here. We would copy and paste it, boop, and then we will put configuration GPS, change that here, GPS, so it'll say that. And I don't know what the German translation of GPS is, but we're just going to put GPS for the heck of it for right now. We will hit save, and now that design configuration will have the title of GPS. We can load back up our game really quick, make sure we hit save on this bad boy, make sure we have save on that bad boy. And I think we'd have to completely restart the game to see anything that has to do with the mod disk. If you change stuff in the mod disk, that is loaded at the beginning of the game, so I don't know if this will work or not. Oh, yep. See, so we're going to get this error because I have to completely restart the game to see any changes that I make in the mod disk. And since we're here, let's just go through and create another one for the beacons, for the beacon for the title. change this to title just for the heck of it. And these names don't matter. Like I said, they're just callback references. So whatever it is you really want to put in here, you can do that. So we're just going to put beacons. Okay, title, beacons. And we need to put that in here under a title. Once we get that going right there, title beacons. Okay, that's good deal. We'll make sure we hit save on all that. We got all that stuff installed. For some reason, I'm having a bit of a brain fart right now on this design material configurations on getting the title to work. I don't know it all, guys. I'm just trying to share what I do know, so bear with me. Let's load the game back up and see if our other tags worked flawlessly. Okay, we got our game loaded back up. Let's go check the store, see if it worked. All right, so we have GPS and we have beacons. We have beacon 1. We don't have any other beacons installed yet, but we have GPS. And for some reason, my design color didn't flow through. That might be because it requires some additional stuff. I had to do some research and look into that. So pardon me for giving you that information and not having full details on it. I'll work on that for you. But it does work. Let's install some other beacons. Just to give you some idea of what other beacons the game has, here is what they all look like, starting with number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 beacons to work with. Personally, I love number 10. Number 10 is pretty cool looking. So let's go through and install these individually, one at a time. So going through, we have our lights and we have a beacon. Now the beacon is on the top side in the scene graph here. We don't really want to mess with this too much because of we don't know what this is hooked up with, what it's coded in the XML. So we are actually going to create a new transform group and we're going to rename it beacon lights. When we do that, we will cut it out of the bottom and we're going to put it inside of our light section here, beacon lights, and then we're going to duplicate this, cut it, and we're going to paste it in there. For the time being, we're going to leave that beacon light number 1 as is, but we are going to copy its translation location, what a tongue twister, and we are going to paste it into here. And I am doing that by holding Control Shift and C to copy. While I'm clicked in there, I hit Control Shift and C, and then to paste it, I hit Control Shift and V, and it'll paste all 3 of the numbers without having to do anything. Beacon lights, we're going to rename this to beacon light 2. Let's do a couple of them. So beacon light 3, Control D, beacon light 4. And that will be all I'm going to do for this tutorial. You can add all the rest in there if that's what you want to do. So now that we have those all hooked up, let's hit save on this because we all know I like to mess stuff up when I don't hit save. And we were going to remember these beacon light numbers so we can create some i3D mappings. Okay, now under the lights section inside of the XML, we're going to find the beacon lights, and where it says beacon light, we're going to duplicate that. And we're just going to add the number 2 in there. We're going to change this XML to 2. And we're going to do that a couple more times, going right down the line counting. I think I did 4. Did I do 4? I forget. Getting old in my young age. Yep, I created 4. So now what we're going to do is we need to remember this first this first index path here. So we're just going to hit copy on that, open back up this guy, and we are going to scroll all the way down to the i3D mapping until we find beacon light. Once we find beacon light, give ourselves some space, We're going to duplicate this a couple times. And we're going to name this one Beacon Light 2. We're going to duplicate it again, Beacon Light 3. And we're just counting now. So the next one would be 181. And the next one after that would be, we're going to go 4. And this one would be 2. And if you want to double check, we will just go back to our i3D really fast and make sure that it is number 4 is 182, which it is. Okay, so now those are coded up and all those lights are going to spawn at one time. So if we loaded it up right now, you just have a mumble jumble of beacon lights that had spawned right there. So what we are going to do now is install a choice selection. So design configurations. So configuration right here, we're under beacon. So we would make another choice. We got our first choice, which is empty. That is this one. Now we're going to do our second choice. We're going to make that the node is going to be beacon light 2, but we don't actually have an L10 tag for beacon light 2. So let's hop on over to our mod disk and create some more text here. Should be pretty easy because it's already, for the most part, filled out for us. We just got to go through and duplicate it and add the number 2 in, and we are going to do this for the next few of them. Okay, if you look here, I quickly made a 3 and a 4 and added those in. Now when we go through to make these in here, because this is beacon light 2, we can change this to 2, and it's going to be referring back to this text here, and it'll say beacon 2, and we will do the same thing 2 more times. Change this to 3, change the node to 3, and when you're doing this, the capitalization matters so much. So you cannot misspell anything, you can't add in extra words, letters, capitalization, anything. It all has to be identical. So now that that is all configured up, we should be able to load it up in-game perfectly with 110 tags to make it look a little bit more professional. So let's load it up and let's check it out. Okay, we're in-game. Let's go to our store again, cars, scroll all the way down to here, open up our tilde key, make sure we don't have any errors going on, but you will see here beacon light 1, beacon light 2, and 3, and 4. So now we have, you could go through and add in as many as you wanted. Got our pink seats, go through, and you could do the exact same thing with how we did the GPS with the Starfire. This also works with attachers and wheels and renaming stuff. I'm sorry I didn't figure out the design color thing. For some reason, I'm missing something in my head. But that is how you A, install beacons, and B, do the 110 tags. So thank you so much for watching. You know more videos will be coming, so hit that like button if you're enjoying the series. Leave a comment down below what you think we should do next to this, and I will see you in the next one, my friends.